What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we're going to take a look and listen to White House Senior Advisor, Mr. Richmond. He's going to be talking about this infrastructure bill. And I like to listen to the different politicians. I also like to listen to messages coming from the White House when it comes to this infrastructure bill, the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill, because we can learn a lot about where they are when it comes to this bill. And so we're going to take a look and listen to Mr. Richmond. We're also going to take a look and listen to some other politicians in the future. So I'll be posting those videos very soon. So stay tuned for those. But before we get started, if you guys can do me a favor, please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, I just wanted to remind you, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's do a little bit of background here when it comes to this infrastructure bill, the first infrastructure bill and that second human infrastructure bill. That's the $3.5 trillion bill that you're hearing a lot about. So let's talk a little bit about where we are right now. So the Senate passed the first infrastructure bill. It went over to the House. It's sitting in the House right now. So they're focused on the second infrastructure bill as we speak. That will be a budget reconciliation bill. So that will mean that all they need is a majority vote. So in the Senate, what that means is they need 50 Democrats to vote for it, and then Kamala Harris, the vice president, will come in and break that tie, and they can move forward with a $3.5 trillion bill. So you need every vote. And the problem that we saw a couple of days ago is Senator Manchin, who's a Democrat, came out and said, you know what, let's pause on this $3.5 trillion bill. I'm not comfortable with a $3.5 trillion top line number, as well as let's see what's going on with all this other stuff that's happening. We don't know if we might need some assistance in the future. We might not need assistance in the future. So he wants to just put a pause on things right now. Just let's see where we are and then move forward at a later date. Now that poses a threat because the first infrastructure bill is being tied to the second infrastructure bill. At least that's the way they're talking. At least that's the way Congress wants to move. So you have progressives in the Congress, you have progressive Democrats, you have moderate Democrats, and they're kind of fighting against each other right now because they're saying, look, we want to move forward. The progressives want to move forward with both bills. The moderates want that first infrastructure bill to go through and then move forward with that $3.5 trillion bill. However, right now, you're not hearing any Republicans talking about the second infrastructure bill. As far as the first infrastructure bill, you do have some politicians talking about it, some Republicans talking about it, and some Republicans that voted for it in the Senate, but we don't know what's going to happen in the House. So let's go ahead and play this clip here, and we'll talk along the way. Here we go.
You know, the destruction really does highlight the need to counter the consequences of climate change. And they are countered with the infrastructure projects in the bipartisan bill passed by the Senate, the broader proposals of the Democrats' $3.5 trillion bill. But this week, Senator Joe Manchin argued to put a hold on the Democrats' bill, and it can't pass without his support. Doesn't that put both proposals at risk?
We're going to keep working on both proposals. If, you know, people have said from the beginning that both.
Now, just quick note, he did not answer that question, right? Doesn't it put both of them in jeopardy? I believe it does. And he doesn't answer the question, so he probably realizes that, yes, it does put them both in jeopardy.
Proposals were dead on arrival. People said that they would meet challenges. Well, that's what we do as an administration. We meet challenges, we keep working, we keep our head down until we get things done. And we saw that with the American Rescue Plan, and we're going to keep doing that with the infrastructure bill. But people should see now more than ever how important it is to have resiliency and to shore up our electrical grid and invest in our infrastructure. And then on the reconciliation bill, the Build Back Better bill, it's important to address climate change. These once-in-a-century storms are starting to come almost every other year. They're bigger, they're stronger, they wreak more havoc. If you look at New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, people should see what the climate change is doing, and we're going to address that in our legislation. And the president created this legislation over a year ago. So he was ahead of this, and now we just need Congress to come along with us so that we can protect the American people and then invest in them.
But you read Senator Manchin's op-ed. He said he's not for it. He says $3.5 trillion is too much. He's not going to vote for it. It can't pass without him.
Look, Senator Manchin is a valued partner. We're going to continue to work with him, but we're also going to continue to push our agenda. And part of this, George, is just the sausage-making process, and it just happens. And this is happening in public view, but it's not abnormal for this to happen in the legislative process, and we're still full steam ahead on trying to get our legislation passed.
Isn't it also going to be harder for the president to get this passed now that he's got a majority disapproving, according to our latest poll, of the job he's doing as president?
No, I don't think so. I think what really will happen is people will start to realize what we need, the challenges that we're facing. We have to really take an assessment of what the American people are dealing with right now. They're dealing with COVID and the Delta variant. They're dealing with Hurricane Ida. They're dealing with a number of things, and we're meeting the challenges, and I think people appreciate that. Does it always bear out in poll numbers? Maybe, maybe not, but I've seen, and I've done this a very long time, the leadership that the president providing is appreciated, will be appreciated more, and you get ups and downs, and we're not worried about poll numbers. We're worried about the 1.2 million people in Louisiana that didn't have electricity. We're worried about the people in New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania that are going through it. So this has never been a president who worried about himself. He really worries about the country. So we're not worried about poll numbers, and the president will do the hard work to garner the support of his party, and that's regardless of anything else.
Okay, so that was Mr. Richmond. Now, when it comes to polls, I think Afghanistan has a lot to do with the reason why his poll numbers are down. I don't think it's the other things that Mr. Richmond was talking about. I think the main focus at this point is Afghanistan and getting the rest of the Americans out of Afghanistan. Even though we've already left, there's still some Americans that are there. I think that is really putting a lot of negative press out there and on the White House, and that is hurting his poll numbers. Now, one thing I want to focus on when it comes to Senator Manchin, I think you need to call his bluff. He's talking about pausing. I think we're in a situation where you need to call his bluff. Just move forward, get it to that point where they're ready to vote. And if he doesn't want to come along, he's gonna face a lot of backlash. And so I think that's what you need to do when it comes to Senator Manchin. He's always going to be out there saying different things. However, if you do get this $3.5 trillion bill ready to be voted on, he's probably going to come along ultimately. I think with the climate that we're in right now, when you're talking about the storms, when you're talking about the Delta variant, when you're talking about a variety of different things that are affecting us right now, I think if you get that vote ready, Senator Manchin is going to have to go along, because remember, he's representing West Virginia. And if West Virginia is hurting, they're going to be coming to him saying, look, what's going on? We want this. We need this. And so I think you need to call his bluff. He's talking about pausing. I think you call his bluff and he's going to go ahead and move forward. I want to know what you guys think about this. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.